Up and running, and Liverpool is loud.
And indeed, Aston Villa were back in the European stage for the first time in Villa Park in 14 years, which was absolutely incredible. I know the game was 5-0 and obviously we made it 8 in the end, but regardless, to have it back in Villa Park was absolutely amazing. Joining me tonight, obviously, is Kevin. Kevin, how are you feeling, mate?
I'm good, Mark. Good to see you as always. Plenty to talk about in the Villa world.
Absolutely. Obviously, tonight, we're going to be discussing lots of things. So, Liverpool game, Conference League. But first things first, we're going to touch on just the Hibs game. Just a small bit of reaction to that. What did you make of the game, Kevin?
I mean, it was just easy, wasn't it, really? Didn't really have to get out of first gear. It's always going to be a scenario when you have such a convincing first leg win, particularly away from home, that, you know, Villa knew that it was just going to be a procession. It was a good chance with the likes of a Revan and a Kellyman to make their proper first team debuts, of course, and just to rest some of the players. You know, it was good to give 30 minutes to the likes of Watkins and McGinn, so they've got a little bit of, it was almost like a proper little mini training session before the Liverpool game. Yeah. So it turned out perfect in the end. We didn't have to really exert ourselves, no pressure on it. But yeah, the most important thing about it is that we are now on the back of that confirmation of the win. We knew it was already there, but we knew it, obviously until the final whistle goes, it's never done. We're now officially, as per the draw today, back in proper European football.
Absolutely. And before we just go on to a bit more, we'll go through a bit of the comments. So Duncan here said, keep up the good work. And obviously it's shown here he's a member for 4 months. So fair play to you, Duncan. And if anyone else wants to become a member, just click the join button. It's £2 a month. You get all the inside information. You get to hear him giving out about Leon Bailey every single week. So you get loads of stuff. And obviously, if you want to subscribe, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when we're on. Michael is saying good evening to Dunk. And obviously Duncan now, they're having a little chat between themselves, lads. So fair play, just. Michael has said some performance last night. Deontay's here. He said, happy Friday. Everyone thoughts on the UCL draw. We will come on to that. Mark Farrington, even though I hope all is okay. And everything. Damsky, who watches all the way from Australia. So fair play to him. He says, hi all. Dream Villain, hi everyone. We're all happy with the window. Rachel saying, good evening. And that's about it. Everything else is pretty much about Europe, which we will touch on to. Don't worry about that. But just getting back to the Hibs game, I had obviously went to this game, so I was sitting in the north stand lower. So I was pretty much near enough to actually the Hibs fans. They were just giving us socks. And I have to say, fair play to them, because they're 5-0 down, and then we went to 6, went to 7, went to 8, and they did not stop singing. And that's just unbelievable. I know people turn around, they only done it because the game was gone, but it doesn't matter. It's a day out. They just enjoyed it. It's European football for them as well. And they just sang to the top of their lungs. And absolutely fair play. I mean, I got caught in the train station with them, right? And I was in the middle, and all of a sudden I'm surrounded by Hibs fans, loads of them, right? And they were like, oh, we've got McGinn, Super John McGinn. And I just laughed and said, fair play, lads, fair play, right? And they went, where are you from? I said, I'm from Ireland, like, I'm only here for the night. And all of a sudden, a few of them started singing Irish songs, so I was like, right, so started joining in with them. In fairness, they were good. They were a class act. There was no troubles or anything from them. So they were a good bunch of lads, and I have to say, they really are fairly professional. I know there was a bit of controversy with one other chance, but I'm not touching that subject. But yeah, just the game in general, it was, you're right, Kevin, it was fairly more like a training game, wasn't it? But it was good to see, though, like this man here, Matty Cash, he's on fire at the moment. 3 goals in the last 2 games.
Yeah, 3 goals in a week for Kashi. I thought, to be honest, I mean, he's been a good keeper back in his day, but Davy Marshall, I mean, I think he'll be disappointed with all 3 goals, really, because, the keeping wasn't brilliant. Just on the Hibs fans quickly, I thought they were absolutely tremendous. I actually had a little bit of deja vu, but luckily it was a different ending to this deja vu, because I remember when Rapid Vienna beat us, they are the best away fans I've ever seen. I was in a cold north stand with Rapid Vienna fans next to us, and they was just kept singing over and over again to the tune of the Lambada. Rapid Vienna, da, 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 da. It was unbelievable. It was interspersed with Aston Villa Scheiße, which is a German word for poo. And that was it all the way through for 90 minutes solid. But they wear green and white. So when I can see this sea of green and white, I'm thinking, in Europe, I'm thinking, oh my God, I started having palpitations, and I was like, oh, it's all right. It's only Hibs. It's not Rapid Vienna. But the Hibs fans, I mean, sunshine on Leith, singing the Proclaimers, singing obviously the other one, 500 Miles. I just thought they were a credit to themselves. And my lad was like, why have they come? Young lad, not sure. It's like, this is what it's about, mate. You follow your team through thick and thin. And us Villa fans, we've been there, haven't we? We've been there through the thick. We've been there through the thin. And I think the thick is the good, isn't it? And the thin is the bad. And now, getting. Let's talk about it, Mark. It was our record ever European score, 8-0, beating the 7-0. We beat Valur in the year we won the European Cup. So 8-0. My lad was sat there thinking we need one more goal. Dad, one more goal for the record. And aggregate score 8-0 came when I mean, I don't know how. The Bailey free kick, he could have caught it, bounced off his chest. Cashy did well to keep it down. 8-0. He's flying now, up there with the top scorers. And it was easy, mate. It was easy. It was.
I was watching it, and obviously, the first 5 to 10 minutes of any game, including this one, Hibs actually wanted to start themselves in the front foot, because it's full of energy then, and then fitness kind of and quality, they just kick in at times, and Villa were just then able to control the ball. They were just naturally fitter. But one man who did score is your favourite, Kevin, and he was hungry like the wolf, John Duran, with another goal and a great ball from Pau Torres, might I add.
Yeah, what a ball. Well, I got to the game a little bit late. The traffic, the route I came in Birmingham was unbelievable. So I literally walked up the steps to when you can see the pitch. And in front of me, Pau Torres passes the ball. Well, and it comes to literally Duran. I'm on the Trinity side. And he sneaks it in. That was the first action I saw.
Nice.
Absolutely tremendous pass by Pau Torres. That's exactly what we've been hearing all about in terms of his progressive football brain. And a lovely finish. I don't know what the keeper's doing out there that far, because he should have just stayed a bit further back, and he's got work to do to get past the defender. But take nothing away from the lad, and that will only build confidence for him, because obviously that's 2 goals now in 2 appearances at Villa Park. And look, we've got concerns. We'll talk about the transfer window shortly. Are we a bit light still in attacking options? But you got to give the guys some credit. Mark, I'll just fire through some comments, because obviously there's plenty of people commenting.
No problem.
So Doug says the squad players did really well. Shout out to Chambers and Durant. Yep. I think just quickly on Chambers, I don't think he's going to set the world on fire, but he's a really useful utility player, whether it's right back, whether it's centre half, whether it's defensive midfielder. And I don't think he's ever massively ever let us down hugely.
I think for this Conference League, I think it's perfect for him. Like, maybe a game against the team from Iceland or potentially Legia Warsaw, depending on what way you might fall within the group stage. But other than that, he never puts a foot wrong. Carry on.
I don't think we've got a team in Iceland. We'll talk about that shortly, Mark. We'll come.
I think they're from Iceland.
Yeah, I think you might be thinking.
Bosnia, sorry, no, they're from Bosnia. Apologies.
Bosnia, yeah. It's all the same, Europe, and it's all the same.
It's in Europe.
It's all the same. Michael, hi, Mike. Duran has stardust around him. He has that lovable cheeky. He's like that lovable cheeky kid. Yeah, absolutely. When he puts his hand out,
cheeky, did you see what you did, Jerman?
Yeah. Put his hand, let him up, and then pulls it away. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, I think in terms of the Hibs game, Mike says shout out to the Hibs fans, fantastic. Yeah, Duncan says proper fans, absolutely. Yeah, correct, brilliant. CC, hi CC, massive shout out to the Hibs fans. They're amazing, probably the best away fans I've ever heard at Villa Park. Yeah, up there with Rapid Vienna for me, and so it's the green and whites maybe. Maybe we'll play Celtic in the Champions League next year. Come on, I wonder how they'll be. Villa Park, more green and white. So yeah, in terms of talking about the next step from the Hibs game, proper European football. So let's talk about it.
Yeah. So obviously it's been announced now that we're in the group stage finally, and the draw was at last completed. And here it is. We've been drawn in Group B with AZ Alkmaar, obviously ourselves, Aston Villa, Legia Warsaw, and then HSK, and I'm not even going to pronounce that name, okay? I'm just going to call them Shrin. I like that name, so Shrin. So, but Kevin, what do you think? Do you think that's probably a good draw to get for your first time in 13 years, or would you say there might be one little scare?
I think there's always going to be in inverted commas, scare, because that first pot was always going to be, be tricky, wasn't it? You've got whether it's an Eintracht Frankfurt, whether it's a Lille, OSC, like decent teams of pedigree. I think Alkmaar will be a tough game. I think they're obviously a decent side. Legia Warsaw, we've been there before. I've got memories, 42 years old. I remember us going and playing teams like Banica Strava, and God, we went out to some Norwegian team, and you can never write these teams off, particularly away from home. If you think Legia Warsaw, I imagine those fans will be going absolutely mental when we're over there. So it won't be easy. The again, in inverted commas, whipping boys of the group will be, we think, HSK Zrinski, however you say it. But again, I wouldn't massive fancy our chances. I think we saw. Look, I know that I put a tweet out last night talking about how great the Hibs fans were, and also a little comment, not being disrespectful, but just a comment on Scottish football, because obviously Rangers got a bit of a beating. Aberdeen,
it was a good week from them. Yeah,
Aberdeen had a bad result. Obviously Hibs got beat by us. Hearts had a bad result. I think one of the teams, I think they got beat by a Faroe Islands team, didn't they? I think one of them did. But my point is that.
And Celtics automatically qualify for Champions League simply because Russia, they're eliminated from any coefficients due to all the political side of things, which you won't touch. But obviously they're in it, so that's how it is. But I think that's good for Scottish football. I think the champions of each league should be automatically qualifying for the Champions League, though.
Well, yeah, I don't disagree at that point, but my point was going to be around. I know the standard of the Scottish League isn't brilliant, but if you've got teams like the Faroe Islands getting results like against Scottish teams, then clearly they can't be terrible teams. So we can't take anything for granted. But what other ties would you have wanted? I mean, Frankfurt would have been obviously a decent caliber tie. But really, look, Legia Warsaw, Alkmaar won't be easy tests, but it's a chance for us to show what we're all about.
Absolutely. And obviously, just to finish it off with just Europe, I wanted to mention the man of the match. This young kid is obviously, people would say, oh, the sky's the limit. No. Ask me bollocks, sorry for my language, but there's footsteps on the moon. And this is Omari Kellyman. What a performance. 17 years of age.
We didn't talk about Omari, did we?
Movement off the ball, when he gets the ball, the confidence to go and take somebody on. It's unbelievable. And the assist for Bailey was great, how we just slotted into the hole and then just looked up straight away, seeing him, bang, it was into him, and then Leon Bailey goes and scores a goal, which I was going, 17 years of age. Imagine when he hits his prime, 22, 23, 24. My God, it's just going to be absolutely exciting for years. Now, obviously, he's going to have to be patient for a while, which that was the case for Archer and Aaron Ramsey, but unfortunately they were sold on. But at the same time, though, Kevin, it's a very exciting prospect, isn't it? Yeah,
I mean, you never know how these players are going to turn out, but he certainly looks like he's got a bit about him. We've been there before with players, we have. I mean, I think we would have thought the same about when a variety of players came through. And I'm sure Chukwuemeka will go on to have a decent career. You know, he was highly rated when he came through. The Ramseys, obviously, one's made it with us, the other one's gone to Burnley. But this lad, 17 years old, I mean, it was the way he moved the ball away from the defender, like out of nowhere, really, like a real quick flick to kind of get away from him. And then obviously played the pass. Bailey did what Bailey's doing at the moment, which is hitting the back of the net. So credit Leon. But Kellyman, I think it was tailor-made for him. You know, showed his quality. I still think probably alone would be a good option for him. But if we don't bring someone else in, there's a chance he might stick around the squad, because if Coutinho does go.
Absolutely. And I wanted to mention one more young fit, and I'm kind of actually discussed that. I didn't get a picture of him, but Revan. I thought Revan was very good on that left side. He was very confident. If the ball wasn't there, if he whipped in, he was patient. He kept the ball moving, which, you know, way sometimes at like 17, yeah, there he is. Revan was class. To be fair, we have 3 left backs. So, and you know what? It was good. He was patient as well. Like, you know the way sometimes when you're like 17 and you're overlapping and you might just put it in first time and hope someone gets onto it. No, he just had the intelligence just to keep the patience, keep the ball. If it's not there to be put in, he won't put it in. And when he did, it really did give the defender something to think about. So I thought he had a great game.
Yeah, I totally agree. Shout out to Kevin Hood, first time listening. Good stuff, lads. Cheers, Kev. Great name as well. Hello, Kevin.
This is where it's going to get good now for you, Kevin, right?
Yeah.
You know Gaza from the comments, yeah?
Oh, I know this. Rich told me. Yeah.
He's from your area. That's Gaza's best mate. That's Gaza's best mate there.
Kevin is.
Kevin. Yeah, I was out with him there. We call him Hoodie, right?
Yeah.
He's bang on. So I met up with Gaza. I went to the train station, so we were upstairs in the Mowgli. And I met Hoodie, I met Julio, Dave, and Anthony or Andy. I can't remember. I'm terrible with names. And lovely lads, absolutely bang on, absolutely everyone of them. Gaza's a character right now, Kevin. He's mad. He's just mad, but he's a scaffler, so I'm not surprised.
I don't think he's in.
But he's mad.
I don't think he's watching tonight. I don't think he's on. Hopefully he gets it back. But yeah, he's from the Rich told me, so I was next to the other Rich who occasionally makes sporadic appearances on the pod. Did last week. Fair play. It was good. But he told me that basically he's from the same part of Birmingham that I'm from, which is a pretty dicey part of Birmingham where I'm from, Ward End. So that's yeah. Oh yeah, it's we won't go into too much about that. It'll be a different podcast. But Kev said he's still driving home back to Scotland.
They're not still driving home, are they? What time did the Jews leave at?
Yeah, maybe they had a few beers. Listen, Gaza's here. He's here. Look at him. He's driving home. Gaza, we'll have to catch up one day down the Villa. I'll talk about Ward End and a bit of Ward End Park and the likes of it in the Met and stuff. But we'll come back to that. Guys, just a quick one. If you're not already giving the video a like, please give the video a like. That would be fantastic. It helps more people find the show. I had a guy come up to me at 5-a-side football, or more like 8-a-side football the other night, saying, I stumbled across your podcast the other day, Kev. You didn't tell me about it. But that goes to show that we're being a bit more, the algorithm's working for us. We're being a bit more known. So it really helps us if you can obviously like the video. Obviously, if you could subscribe, that would be fantastic. If you want to be a member, click the link. That would be absolutely always appreciated. So, but yeah. Michael's put about where too close to Small Leaf Ward End. Yeah, there was a few Blues fans near where I grew up, but I
think I was in Small Leaf before, actually.
Yeah, keep away from that. Mike, I had no choice. My dad was born just off Trinity Road. My very first picture of me is in a claret and blue baby bouncer with a claret and blue baby grow on and a Villa scarf and a program next to me, and that was the year we won the league. That was the year we won the league. In 1981. So actually we were league champions the year I was born. And then I went to Aston, scored in Aston. So like I didn't really have a choice. But Nigel here, look at this. Another one of my cousins are from Ward End, much older than you though, Kev. Cheers, Nigel. Yeah. So Ward End's getting a bit of love tonight. Doesn't get much to Ward End. Yeah. Look, in terms of obviously where we're at now, I mean, let's talk about it. Is it time for us to talk about the transfer window?
Yeah, we'll touch now on the transfer window before we get to the Liverpool game, which is the main topic tonight, obviously, because it's in the handle. But first things first, obviously, we've announced the signing of Clément Lenglet, and French centre-back, left-footed, and he's on loan. There's no option to buy, as far as I'm aware. So I actually kind of like this sign, to be honest with you, Gavin, because Mings is out injured, and if there's this plan for us to play three at the back, we're going to need more than Konza, Carlos, and Pau Torres.
Yeah. Rachel says she's happy with the window. I think she's done some great business, and I think Longley is a great example of that. Done great window. I think shame on Ferran Torres and Fati. Yeah, I agree. We know what's going to happen. Don't keep your fingers crossed. You never know. But Longley, I think, is a smart signing. I think he fits that profile of quite a good ball playing centre half. And look, if we get any injuries, I think we are on our bare bones. The thing for me is the way we're looking at the centre half position. Clearly, with this signing, I feel the same about our forward options. And I put it obviously in our group earlier, but I do think, look, there's loads of glove about with Duran. There's a few of the comments about Duran in terms of how cheeky he is and how many goals will he get? Will he get 10, 15 goals? And I mean, the thing for me is I don't know what's going to happen with Durant. There's a lot I like about him. He's raw. He's got potential. But I think he's also a bit all over the shop sometimes, And can you rely on him? He's unproven. And if you've got Watkins, if there's any kind of injury or loss in form of Watkins, obviously he's not scored that many in the league in the last 10 games.
Yeah, but I can kind of stick on with Diaby then up top, just for short pace.
Yeah, but, and I think that's probably a decent option. And particularly when you play, with attacking midfielders, and when Ramsey comes back in, you can probably look at it. It's not necessarily the world now of out and out number nines, is it? That's why Watkins is such a good thing for Villa, despite the pros and cons we've got of Watkins. Look how hard Man United did to find. They've had to go on a fairly unproven 70-odd million guy in Højlund. So, Kane's obviously gone. There's not that many out-and-out number nines in the league. You've got Isak and Wilson, clearly, Tony. There's not that many. A lot more teams are playing with attacking midfielders, aren't they?
Yeah, I was just about to say Ivan Tony, but then again, he's out for 8 to 9 months. And, I don't think any team will take a punt on him this year, even if he comes back in January, because, he's obviously going to have to get his fitness up because he's not even training with the team. They won't even let him train, which I think is ridiculous because, right, fair enough, he's not allowed to do any football activity. But I just think at least let him train with a club, keep him up to a standard and keep him in shape. Because obviously I know he's got a personal trainer and he'll do all this on the outside, but at least let him train with his team so he has a bit of match football fitness for when he gets back. You know what I mean? So, but you're right. There's not a lot of top class strikers at the minute. I mean, Lewandowski's kind of getting past it. Obviously, Harry Kane moved to Bayern. Haaland he seems to be the most premium one out there. So in the league itself, if Ollie Watkins and Callum Wilson barely starts, Alexander Isak he's a very good striker. So you're right. There's not a lot. So it's if something was to happen to Ollie, there's not a lot to go around. So. Yeah, but we will. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, this just brings up that point there about Michael saying not going on Watkins. Do you think Durant will score 15 goals this season? His goals per shots looks good. Rachel thinks 8 to 10 maybe. CC says not in the Prem, might get a few in Europe. Adamski says Durant's a bit Benteke-ish, isn't he? Better finish for sure. Is a beast. So there's obviously a bit of love for Durant. My view on it generally is that I trust Unai, but I do think we were lucky in January that when we saw Ings, this is why I'm not convinced we'll bring someone in to replace Coutinho, because everyone thinks, get rid of Coutinho and also Archer and Ramsey and get rid of some of these more forward players.
Yeah.
That must mean we're bringing someone in. Well, I felt the same when Archer went on loan in January and then Ings got sold to West Ham. I think a lot of us felt the same. We're going to bring someone in, surely. And then we didn't. And then, look, it turned out all right. But I think an injury to Watkins or a loss of form, you're relying then on Duran. And then what have you got? Just Duran and Diaby. And Diaby's not an out-and-out striker. Maybe you can change the system. But I don't know. Bailey's obviously been hit and miss. McGinn's not known for his goals in recent seasons, as much as I think he'll get a few more this season. The point is, who can you rely on there? And then you're looking at a situation where if Jacob Ramsey's not fit, then you haven't really got loads of options. Traore's not necessarily been that reliable in terms of injury. or productivity. So I just think we're a bit light. Zaniolo's the other one, isn't he? But again, injury record. If everything works out perfectly, it might be a masterstroke. But I just think we're a bit exposed. What does everyone else think in the comments? Do you think we're left a bit open, a bit exposed for the rest of the season, particularly with the amount of games we hope to have with not bringing in another forward option? Stick it in the comments and let us know. What do you think?
Well, this obviously tying it up nicely now with the outgoings, and I'll hit this fella first. Keenan Davis is obviously now off to Udinese in Italy for, I think, between £2 to £3 million. Yeah, and this is a good bit of profit from him, but I reckon last year we should have banked on the 10 to 15 million Forest were going to offer us. I really thought we should have banked on it, but at the same time, though, I'm kind of happy that he's moving. But was mad because 1 minute he was off the Hull, next minute he was off the Swansea, and now he's going to Italy. Like, Jesus Christ, it's like asking your missus in a restaurant, what do you want to eat? Do you want fish? Do you want steak? Or do you want chicken? Like, it was, but you know what? I'm glad he's decided now on his move. He's going to Italy, Serie A. It's a good standard of football, and I think it's a direct replacement for Beto, who moved to Everton. So it might work out. Yeah,
look, I think I always had a bit of soft spot for Davis. I think, particularly when he went to Forest and scored against the Blues and gave him some grief. But he was never getting a look in our squad, was he? So that's another one where it's not like it's same with Coutinho. It's not like Coutinho was really offering anything in terms of his availability to play. So therefore you're not losing anything. Nigel said, "Cheers, Nigel. Daniola looks like he played the Watkins role." Dunk said, "Daniola and Diaby can play it." So yeah, I mean, maybe. Mike said Duran's unpredictable. I think he knows what the goal is. CC says, "I think we're worrying too much about strikers, a tad too much. I think we'll be fine. We've got enough players to cover." Dream Villain, I love this. Says we need to sign Knowlesy as a first line of defence against the Alkmaar fans. That's a great comment. Yeah, I love that. Maybe Knowlesy. Well, he's got claret and blue top. Maybe he could just wear a West Ham top, couldn't he? CC says, if anything happens, we adjust. Is the game now about having an out-and-out striker? No, I don't think it is. And I think I've kind of alluded to that point earlier. But
I think it depends on the system you play, though. If you look at Man City, Haaland, all he has to do is kind of sit there and wait.
Yeah, but as Nigel says, Watkins link-up play is much better. Michael agrees. It's fantastic.
And I'll touch on Watkins here just for a little bit, right? When I was on the plane over, right, I was sitting next to a lad who, funny enough, is from where I'm from. So I had a bit of a story like you, Kevin. He's from Kingswood. I'm from Old Barn. It's literally like 2 seconds down the road from each other. And he knows me cousin, so I was like, it's a small world. But he asked one of the lads who was sitting next to it, goes, do you like Watkins or do you not? I said I didn't mind him because I know what he offers us. Dave liked him. But your man here, what was his name? Jack. I think it was Jack. He said he can't stand him. So then next thing you know, these two boys are going like this, back and forth, right? Arguing about points and all of this. And I was like, Jesus Christ, like watching Sam and George live.
Mark, do you know what Watkins is like? Watkins is like going on a podcast and saying, do you like Trump or Clinton? Or do you like Biden or Trump? Or do you like Johnson or Corbyn? Or do you like Brexit, leave or remain? He's the most polarising figure for Villa fans, isn't he? I mean, he really is. So,
because I don't think a lot of it. Look, I get the frustrations with that he misses a lot of chances, but I'd be more worried if he wasn't there for them chances. Because let's say you whip in a ball and Ollie Watkins wasn't there. It's like, where's Ollie? Where's that striker? And then another thing as well, what he does is he brings people into play just from holding the ball up, and he creates loads of chances. We see the stats nearly every game. He's one of the highest creators in the team, and to do that as a striker, that's very rare to do. And I think he's so pivotal to the way we play.
I think he also goes on purple patches, doesn't he? So we could do with him going on one in the league. In terms of just a few more comments, Adamski says we need another winger. We're on the left. Mike says, I feel we're okay as there are goals in the team. Well, that's been proven, Michael, hasn't it? Obviously, at the start of the season, with the goals have been really spit around. Cash, Bailey, obviously McGinn's got one. Duran's got a couple, so that's obviously good. In terms of the point about are we exposed, Rachel says not exposed as much as no real rotation or problem if injury happens. But if no injuries and we rotate, we could be okay till Jan. Yeah, I think you're probably right, but I do think also it's a much better market to get someone in the summer window than it is in the January window. But, let's see what happens. Dunk says we're light at left wing. We've seen it off when they're injured. Fatty would have been perfect. Ramsey back soon, though. And that's a good point. And if Ramsey's back within a few weeks, then maybe, if you were to bring in a left-sided attacker, well, where would that leave Jacob Ramsey? So maybe there's something behind the scenes about his progression. Also, and I've not even considered this, but if you look at the way, this is a point. I think I've stumbled on a bit of a dream here. Look at the way Cash played last week in that attacking midfield role, getting 2 goals against Burnley with obviously. Yeah, well, he was basically a right winger, wasn't he? He was like a right midfielder.
Very high up, actually, in fairness, yeah. Right.
Do you think for a left-sided attacking option with how well Dean is playing, or if you've got Torres there, that Moreno could play it like further up when he comes back? He's rapid, he's attacking anyway. He's another option, isn't he?
Yeah, I think that only works if you play 3 at the back. Like if you play with a 4, I don't think it works. Where you play with a 3, where your midfielders are sort of boxed off, like just closed in the middle of the pitch, and then you've got your fullbacks doing this all day. Now, I do like this. He only allows 1 to go up at a time. So when you see Matty Cash bombing on, you actually tend to see Luca Digne just sitting back that little bit. Not obviously too deep or too high, but just sitting nicely somewhere where if there's any chance of counterattacks coming on to his side, he's there and ready, and vice versa. So it's literally like this. You're either up here or there.
But I think it gives us something, doesn't it? If you've got Cash able to play further forward, because he did it obviously at Forest, and it's probably a strength of his is his athleticism, of course, if I can say it. And Moreno obviously is a really attacking left back, so maybe that's in his mind. CC says we don't have Champions League, so attracting quality strikers will be difficult. I'm okay where we are. It's a good point. Ryan, hi Ryan, good to have you here, mate. We started last season with Watkins, Ings and Archer. We start this with Watkins, Duran, Diaby and Zaniolo. It's a massive upgrade. It's a very good point it is. Tom Ryan, hi Tom. I'm not worried. What?
Yeah. Sorry, Ryan McGowan there. He's actually from the Up the Villa podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good to have him.
He's on it with them, so glad to have you on.
Yeah.
Pal.
Dream Villain says, I think we're a bit short, but now we're getting goals from elsewhere. Should be okay. Adam says, if we lose Watkins, we're in trouble. So much of play involves things that he does that others don't. Yeah, I think it's a good point. CC just on Davis says, I love Davis. With such bad luck with injuries, poor timing, bad loans, and now he gets a good contract and perhaps what Davis was pushing for. Yeah, it's a good point. Mike says, I know some fans will complain that we need another 1 or 2 players, but Emery will only sign players that will add value to the squad. AVFC US, we still have Moreno and Jacob Ramsey come back to play on the left. Yeah, we just said that. So that's obviously
I know a lot of people are giving out about the depth of our team, but we still have Moreno and Ramsey to come back, so sorry, Kev, I got carried away there. Carry on.
No, it's so true. Adamski said Trump for the laughs all day. Let's not get into that. For the balance. Mike says Watkins is class. Mark Farrington, absolutely red or brown sauce argument, absolutely. Although I did have barbecue sauce on a sausage pit.
I think someone in the comments said Watkins is a bit of a Marmite player.
yeah, there you are, Tom. He absolutely is.
I love that one. He's clearly Australian.
Adam said, I expected us to spend more money this summer. Slightly disappointed with the striker forward depth. Just on that point, and I'll just put a few more comments up and then I'll ask you a question, Mark. So Rachel says, I think Emery and Munchie has tried, but they won't waste money. Prefer to go what he has. Ryan says Emery has said he prefers a small family squad. It was so flexible. I think we're covered. Just on these points, when you see the likes of Forest spending what they're spending today, Chelsea obviously are a different level, but there's been some clubs that have been really going for it. I mean, Forest have got some players. Montiel I think would have been a good right back cover option for us. Obviously we were linked with him, the Argentinian international. I think Hudson Odoi at the price they've got him for, 3 to 5 million, something like that, would have been a decent option in wide roles. So, are you surprised that our net spend hasn't been more? And I think you had something you want to talk about this, didn't you?
Yeah. So I'm looking at this here, right? So 20 teams in terms of their net spend. So at the bottom is no surprise. It's Luton Town. Okay. Yeah. 19th is Fulham. 18th is Everton. 17th is Wolves. Surprisingly, now this is subject to change because obviously this picture was put up a bit earlier on. 16th was Forest. 15th, Crystal Palace. 14th, Burnley. 13th, Brentford. 12th, Sheffield United. Surprisingly, it's Sheffield United. I didn't think they'd be that high. I didn't
Mark,
hear.
it feels like you're doing the top 40 countdown. Like I need to go. You need to say in at 10. You need a bit of music. You're doing the top 20 countdown. It's good.
I probably do, yeah. 11th, Aston Villa. Right now, the top 10 I'm going to name these are all the teams that have a net spend of over 100 million, and Villa haven't actually hit the net spend of 100 million. So, in 10th is Bournemouth. 9th is West Ham. 8th is Newcastle. 7th is Liverpool. 6th is Tottenham. 5th is Man United. 4th is Arsenal. Now, have I missed someone? Sorry. 11th was Brighton. 10th was Villa. Villa didn't hit the 100 million. So, sorry, the top 9. So, 3rd was Arsenal. 2nd, Man City. And 4th is Chelsea. Now, here's where it gets good, right? Only Arsenal and Man City have hit over 200 million, right? Chelsea have hit over 400 million. Nearly double than the team next to them. Like, I'm talking about the point now of wasting money that Rachel has said. Like, they tried and they did not waste money. I think that's a spot-on assessment because Villa here haven't got a net spend of 100 million because think about the players we've just sold, right? So we sold Keenan Davis for 3 million, Cameron Arch for 18.5, Aaron Ramsey for 14, Philogene Bidate's currently at 5 million. So it's like that's pure profit. Them players are pure profit. Like it's not like we spent say 20 million on a Buendia and then we sold them for like 23. I got 3 million profit. No, what we did there is pure profit of like nearly 40 million. Of pure profit, which has helped us a lot. But yeah, when I see some of these teams, and I point out some of the clubs here because I know Newcastle are giving out about our FFP situation, Liverpool give out about it, West Ham give out about it, and yet here they are spending more than us. So like, it's absolutely obscene. Like so, but
yeah,
I just think that the fact that we have tried, and I do believe Villa have tried to go and get someone and. I say clubs like, give us this much. And Monchi and Emery kind of went, no, because if it's not right, they will walk away from it. And prime example of that is Brennan Johnson. He's going for £60 million. He only had 1 year in the Premier League.
Well, I want to believe, I'm sure Villa fans are the same, that there's a master plan. I mean, there's always there's negative comments and the worry that maybe, are they reticent to spend the really big bucks? I don't know. I mean, I think there's something to be said for being savvy in the transfer market. If you did a poll, I'd be interested to see who would you prefer, Callum Hudson-Odoi or Brennan Johnson. Probably get a few more going for Johnson based on recency bias of last season. But Hudson-Odoi has played Champions League. He's played obviously at top level. He's won trophies. He's still young. But do you think would you take Nottingham Forest have basically banked 40 million quid and got Hudson-Odoi to play that winger role? It's not a bad deal, and that's pretty savvy business. If you look at what Villa have done, our midfield is always a talking point, isn't it? Look at what we spent on our midfield options. If you add into that, by the way, at the moment, like Zaniolo in an attacking midfield role as well, you're looking at not spending a huge amount of money for some of these people. So it's not all about spending the big bucks. There's also a reality that you're not going to bring. If Watkins is your main man, are you easily going to get another striker to compete with him? But I don't know. It just feels like a wide player would have been good, but plenty of comments about how we're sharing goals around and there's rotation. So, but it is a random transfer window. If you look at some of the stuff that's been happening, I mean, obviously for Liverpool, they have actually got quite a lot of attacking players, and with the age of Salah, that'd be an interesting move. But the waves that some of these clubs are making today, I mean, Forest are the one. Forest are moving for like 7 players today. Absolutely mental
stuff. We'll go through some of the comments, Kevin, because there was loads flying in as we were waffling there about the transfer stuff. So
Yeah, I popped a few of them up. There's a few comments talking about Wolves and Wolves are losing all the players, but one sec, I'll just pop back to go through. Here we go. So Mike says there's a player who played for Blackburn and was a defender, went up top and smashed goals in every week. Can't remember his name. Chris Samba. I think they've come in and given the answers to that already. But hopefully we're not going to get a centre half in to solve our striking options. Yeah, AVFC US said Shamba. Ryan loves the show, lads. Keep up the good work. Appreciate you, Ryan. Thanks a lot, mate.
Thanks for that.
Yeah. So every team wants more, Rachel says. Yeah, very, very true. Very, very true. Cece says Watkins might be a bit more like a roast chicken sandwich with mayo. Yeah, don't mind a bit of that. McChicken sandwich is with mayo, isn't it?
I think it was a very unfair comparison. A roast chicken sandwich. Ugh.
Gary says, hi guys. Hi Gary. Has the Coutinho deal fallen through? Qatar seem signing for Dents now. So I don't know. The transfer window, Rachel says it closes later, so it doesn't have to be announced today. Dunk says Wolves have got no squad left. Yeah, that Nunes is an absolute player. Think what Man City have done in this window. You know, they've brought in, obviously been trying to get Paqueta, who looks, you know, what an assist tonight for Bowen's goal against Luton. They've brought in obviously Kovacic, who's absolute quality. They've brought in Nunes, who's, I don't know, when I saw him for Wolves last season, I thought he was an absolute baller. He's yeah, Wolves deserve that, honestly. Yeah, Wolves in trouble. Nigel says I thought Abdi might come in today. So
I did see on the Villa report that Emery is trying to convince them. So my take on that is, are they going for him on the basis that Coutinho probably is 95% out the door? And if Abdi say he doesn't come, then they might pull the plug on the Coutinho deal. But with the comment there with Bedence, that might be a fair point, because the Qatari club was obviously set on Coutinho. So maybe they could be trying for both, or maybe they were just wanting the one star profile player. But
see what happens, mate.
It's an interesting one. There's about an hour and 15 left to go in the window, so I personally don't see anything happening. Yeah.
Really random reviews. Hi, mate. All those Wolves fans went pretty quiet. Quick, hey Duncan, lol. Yeah. So yeah, Wolves I think are in a bit of trouble. Going to struggle to score goals, I think, this season. Dunk says he thinks they could go down. I don't disagree. Adamski says Chelsea Liverpool will bite them on the rear. Absolutely. Well, I added the rear to that. Sorry, I didn't say that. Chelsea are also spending top dollar, says CC. Too much. They're not going to recoup all of them. And you see some of the players. I mean, 350, 400 million quid for a midfield. Honestly, would you rather have Lavia, Caicedo, Fernandez, or would you rather have McGinn, Kamara, and Luis? Who would you rather have?
Say the Chelsea one again. I didn't quite hear Chelsea.
It's Caicedo. Obviously, they've got that Fernandez. Whether Lavia will play, but I'm talking about obviously the big money signings they've spent. You know, would you rather have Caicedo and Fernandez or Luis and Kamara?
I'd have Kamara, Luis all day. I'd have them all day.
I know. I mean, it's crazy, and not that Caicedo wasn't fantastic last season, and Fernandez doesn't look like he's an absolute quality player. But are they 200 million more than those two? So there you go. Mike says we've done fantastic business. Absolutely, yeah. I think there's been some great signings we have made. And again, if you look at the window, if you take a step back, we always want more. I think that's a really valid point. That obviously that was made earlier, but to think we've brought Pau Torres in and Clement Longley, the pedigree of those centre halves. We've brought in Moussa Diaby. I mean, what a quality player. We've brought in Yuri Tielemans. Obviously, he's also, really highly rated, Champions Leagues, won FA Cups. And obviously, Zaniolo. So it's Enrico Richards, obviously the young lad we got from West Brom.
I like to look at our midfield, because if you look at probably other teams' midfield, maybe Man City. Actually, no, not maybe Man City. Definitely Man City. Or maybe, just maybe. Actually, no, I can't. No, it's probably just Man City midfield that might just actually be better than ours on paper.
Yeah. Gary says a Coutinho deal will put any FFP issues to bed. Get going, Phil. Yeah, I don't know if there is FFP issues. I don't know what to believe. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd like to believe with the fact that we sold obviously Grealish, Chukwuemeka, Target was 135 million. We've obviously sold Archer and Aaron Ramsey's 32 million, isn't it? You know, if you think you get then 5 for Philogene and Bidet, so and in Davies, there's 40 million. So again, I think there's been some good sales. Surely we've got a bit to spend. That's obviously why some of the commercial side of stuff's changing. Duncan says Diaby's signing of the summer in the Prem. I think that remains to be seen, but I think it's a good shout. I think he looks like an absolute quality player. Yeah. Cece says Forest have bought 300 players. Well, remember that they did this last year. There was like loads of funny memes going around about Steve Cooper's like first post transfer window team meeting. And it was like, you know, like a Roman emperor broadcasting to the masses. So
that's a bit like Chelsea and Forest too. We're doing the same thing. I think they're playing Football Manager by the looks of it.
Well, the Chelsea one's weird for me. They're getting rid of all their academy players, and they've brought in an academy player from Man City who can't get in the Man City team.
Yeah, Cole Palmer, 45 million or something like that.
I don't get it. Like, you're getting rid of your own academy players who are highly rated to bring in someone else's academy players. And Cole Palmer's not going to start for every week. Who knows? I mean, it does feel like at times it is like a computer game, isn't it? Or a board game for Todd Bealey. Bowen doing it in the fantasy football for me, says Duncan. Yeah,
I have him in as well.
I thought about putting him in, didn't do that.
And a Variola in goal.
Stop it. Gary says Felix has gone to Barcelona, so maybe chance we do get the player from Barca. That's a very good point. He puts to bed, obviously, the outside chance of us getting Felix. That was something when we did the pod with Tom Colomassi from the Daily Mail. Me and Richie mentioned that Felix could go right to the end. Well, it has gone to the end, but with where he wanted to go, Barca. Does that mean now that there could be a late move for someone? So let's see. Rachel says Abdi's going to Betis. Well, again, until it's confirmed, we will see. Duncan says Ferran Torres in at the 11th hour. I presume he means Ferran Torres and not Fernando Torres. He'd be a bit old now, wouldn't he?
Yeah. But look, obviously we're absolutely on about the transfer window, but I think let's get to the main topic tonight, which is the preview of the Liverpool game.
Let's go.
Now, obviously, big game on Sunday, 2:00 kickoff, and we'll start off with this man here. Emi Martinez obviously had a bit of a calf issue. I think he's okay now. He didn't play Thursday, probably due to the scoreline, but I think he's all right. Emery said tomorrow is the deciding factor whether or not he plays. So, and for this game, to be honest with you, I know Olsen had a good game against Hibs, but I think we'd rather Martinez just for this game. You know what I mean, Kevin?
Yeah. Look, I don't care who we're playing, really. I want Martinez in goal. I think he's... The one thing I'm kind of most pleased about Martinez is how well his kicking game has come on. Because I was one of the people that when he first under Emery, I was like, his kicking was all over the shop. I think he's really progressed now into... I think he rightfully owns that best goalkeeper in the world tag, and I don't think there's any errors in his game. So, he is an absolute... He just projects confidence, doesn't it, when he's in the team? So I really, really hope he's fit, because I think a big chance of us getting a result away at Anfield is having a confident goalkeeper. Yeah, I thought Olsen did okay. I think he did okay. I think he's been better lately when he's played. But there's still a couple of nervy moments, and it does worry people.
He had a nervy moment against Hibs there, didn't he? With the touching the ball literally by his goal line. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But obviously, and of course, this is one of the main subjects. I'm not going to go to him just yet. But obviously, Liverpool are without Virgil van Dijk, getting a red card for this tackle against Alexander Isak. And, you know, get a blatant red card. He was last man back. He clearly took him out of the game. Red card all day long. And I think he said something to the ref. It looked like, excuse me, French, says fuck off or something like that to him. So obviously, if you're saying that to the ref after getting a red card, I know with the whole new rule and all this, he's automatically suspended for 3 games. And for saying something to the ref, it looked like it could be going to 5. So, and of course, Liverpool as well are without Kanate and Thiago. So there's two, basically their main partnership in centre back, gone already. So like, who are they left with then? Matip and Joe Gomez.
Yeah. I think Villa will have to. Emery will have a plan, I'm sure. I think we've got to go at them. I think we've got to go at them. Absolutely. You know, a bit of pace. Diaby, Watkins. It'd be interesting to see what the lineup is really. Whether Zaniolo gets a game. It'd be really interesting to see. I think Villa. I've said it many times in this podcast. I said it last season towards the end of the season when we were on that spell. I don't worry about anybody other than probably Man City. Every other team, I believe we can get something from the game. Liverpool are going forward are actually really good, and that's one of the reasons why I think they probably could sell Salah and get 150 odd million, because they've got Jota, they've obviously got Diaz, they've got Nunes was brilliant, all that raw potential, but 2 super finishes. Yeah, but they've got other players. They've got Gakpo. They've got other players in that team that are really good. Alexander-Arnold playing a bit more further forward, obviously, is an option as well. But at the back, they're not what they were. And when even with Van Dijk and Kanate in the team, I think they've been a bit suspect. Take those 2 out, I think they're vulnerable, and I think Villa have to go at them.
Absolutely, and obviously there's one man in that back line who I slate, and I think he's not even that good of a defender. Alexander-Arnold. In my opinion, stick Diaby on him and he'll terrorise him all game, because it's just Trent can't defend. His positional in defensive is shocking as well. We've seen it last year with Douglas Luiz with the ball in and Jacob Ramsey in the back post straight away. Boom. 1-0. And Trent was nowhere to be seen. That is a side we should definitely be exposing all game. I tell you who done that really well. Atletico Madrid done that so well in the Champions League, I think, like 2 seasons ago when they knocked them out. They just stayed on Trent's side. That's it. Completely isolated them. I got like 3 goals from that side. And that's what maybe Emery will probably be looking at that, like, right, although they're missing 2 centre halves, but here's a man whose positional sense in defence is absolutely shocking. Maybe that side. Or he might spot something else and expose that altogether. But there is one man, though, who I would be a little bit worried about, because he is firing all sorts at this minute, is Darwin Núñez. Now, a brace against Newcastle, 10 men down. Like, last year, you're talking, if he was in front of goal for them 2 chances, it's over the bar or wide or straight at the keeper. Well, he took them finishes very well, Kevin, didn't he?
Yeah, but I have the odd week at 5-a-side where everything goes in. And last week I was absolutely honking. Couldn't hit a carry's arse with a banjo. I think he's probably got a slightly higher pedigree than me. There's clearly something there, isn't there? He does miss a lot of chances, but I do feel he'd be a confident striker. And getting an away win with 10 men at St James's Park, when the last home game they had, obviously they turned Villa over 5-1, is some result. It really is. And I think it would give them a lot of confidence. But Newcastle also had a lot of chances. I think we need to look at that there is vulnerabilities. So I think it's a case of which team obviously clearly on the day executes their game plan, plays their game plan the best, because I think both teams could definitely win the game. But Núñez, he's got something, hasn't he? He's got that unpredictability. Yeah.
Before we get on to the main topic of Liverpool, we'll go through a few of the comments, Kevin. So,
yeah, cool. Yeah, I've popped up a few on the screen. AVC FC US says Salah's 31 I'd sell. Adam says, I just hope you don't get turned over. Only the second good team we played this season. So yeah, obviously I think it'd be massive before the international break, wouldn't to get the win. Yeah. Mentioned the through balls here. CC says it's the through balls that will get Liverpool. We have to take our chances because Diaz, Núñez, and Salah will. Yeah. Adam says the back line is vulnerable, but they definitely got more goals in than us. Gaza thinks it would be 2-1, Diaby and Watkins. Gary wouldn't play the high line against them. Steve Van Leer says, when Gary back from his holidays, I need him back for his score predictions because he got the last 2 right. Dream Villain says, Trent will get a red trying to stop Diaby. I hope he does. Absolutely.
That'd be nice. He tried to do it against Gordon.
Yeah. CC says, no high line without Mings. Yeah, I agree with that. Rachel says, Núñez will be trouble. Adam says, agreed, Gary. Hopefully learn our lesson and not play high line against Liverpool. Yeah, we don't want to do that. I think that would be a terrible decision with the pace of their attack. Yeah. Dunk says, Zaniolo is pacey with an exceptional first touch. And also Núñez is a proper striker. Nigel's Kev's football is as bad as his poker. Lol. Have you seen me play poker? No, my football can be a bit hit and miss. Yeah, I'm carrying a few injuries. AVFC.
I've heard all about your five-a-side antics. You are greedy in front of goal. I've heard all about it.
Hey, you got to buy a ticket, you win a raffle. That's why I see it. Yeah. It's also sometimes my advancing years and my injuries means sometimes it's just better to try and have a dig rather than trying to recycle. ABFC US says need to make sure Nunes doesn't see the ball. Yeah, I think that's good. But Mike thinks the professor will have a plan. And Adamski says if McGinn spins and we'll be right. Kay says Zaniola seems strong too, which we need. And Really Random Review says I fear no one, especially with Virgil out. Totally agree. That's the attitude to have. Ryan says Nunes played really well and broke our high line numerous at Villa Park. He's dangerous, but I do fancy Watkins to bag. And I promise Villa.
He's actually good record against Liverpool now, in fairness. So
yeah, he does. Yeah. Really Random Review says I promised all villains now Diaby one of our greatest ever players, all time pure electric. Nigel says we played poker. I don't think we did, Nigel, but if we did, but if not, let's try and get that sorted. Really Random Review says when we take over City, they start to get punishments, and Pep leaves, Jack will cry. Yeah. Well, imagine that this season. And CC, all I know, like Kevin said, I don't fit any team as long as we keep the Emery tactics and have the energy to knock them off their rhythm. And then Savas is here as well. Savas, pound for pound, I think on midfield is better than Liverpool's. Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. And
yeah, I'd say it's better than ours.
Yeah, and do we start Bailey? So that's us up to date with most of the comments there. So if we haven't read your comment out, apologies. I'll try and pop a few up as we're going through, but obviously there is a lot. Please, if anyone's come in a bit late, if you can give the video a like as well, that'd be great. And obviously, if you want to give us a subscribe, that would be appreciated. Also, too, over to you, Mark.
Yeah. So obviously now, main topic. This is the topic pretty much in Liverpool. Mohamed Salah. Now, here's what I'm thinking. For starters, they were stupid to reject 150 million for him. If they come in for 200 million. Take the money. He's 31, for God's sake. And 150 million. I'd have bit the hand off them Saudi clubs. And then a 200 million, if they come back with 200 million, I still bite the hand off them. How are Liverpool not doing this? I think it is now sort of like the Coutinho situation. Sell them on such this high price and go and improve your team in areas where you need to improve it. And go again. Like, why are they not taking this money, Kevin?
Yeah. For me, it's a no-brainer. I mean, he's 31. I think he's probably not going to get any better than he is. I think he's good. I don't think he's got quite the same levels and numbers he's had maybe a year or two ago. Someone might prove me wrong on that, but that's just kind of my feeling in terms of his influence. And look what they did when they sold Coutinho. They bought in, obviously, Van Dijk and Alisson. You know, they rebuilt the team. Look
what they went to in terms of their football and like capabilities and what to win. They could do the same again with Salah here.
Yeah, and they've already spent a lot of money to not quite the levels they were after. Obviously, the likes of Lavia and Caicedo, but they've obviously bought in that Endo. They've bought in Dominic Szoboszlai. They've obviously confirmed that Gravenberch deal today. So they've obviously changed that midfield, with the likes of obviously Milner and Keita and Henderson, etc., and Alexander Oxlade-Chamberlain leaving. So they've done that overhaul. Is it enough for what they need to do? Alexis McAllister as well obviously came in as another one. So, but I think for Liverpool, the Salah thing is probably the fact that because he's their star player, what does it say to the Liverpool fans and the rest of the Premier League if they let their star player go without bringing in someone of the same star quality? It's not like they're selling Salah and bringing in Mbappe or Kane or something like that. It's getting rid of him. And I just look at that situation and think, could you see a situation where City sell Haaland, for example, someone that influencer, or Arsenal sell Saka? Back in the day, they would have done it, would have sold their best players, but Arsenal. But would you do it now? I think it sends a message when Liverpool are already a little bit dropped behind that maybe they're not as top tier as they were, if it's not too rude of me to say that.
Yeah, like it's just a strange one. And you see with Sky Sports, oh my God, definitely just trying to do some bit of news. Breaking news: Salah has left the training ground. He probably just went home. Like
he's got to go home at some point, as he doesn't live there.
Oh, well, that's mean. He doesn't live in the training ground, for God's sake. Like, so, oh my God, Salah lived for training ground. Okay, where'd he go? Like, did he go home? Did he go to Greg's to get himself a bit of a sausage roll? Or, sorry, he's probably Muslim, so he probably wouldn't eat the pork. But, like, where did he go? Like, big deal. He left the training ground. Move on. Like, that's like saying another news water is wet.
Yeah. Well, you know, he is their main man, isn't he? But yeah, I think they'd be mad not to sell him with the money that's been offered. I think they'd be mad not to sell him.
Crazy not to sell him. 200 million. Like, if someone came to us, say Douglas Luiz, Saudi Arabia said, "I will give you 200 million for Douglas Luiz." I love Dougie. Off you go. I'm taking 200 million.
Yeah.
Like 100%. You'd be biting your hands off for this sort of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point from Ryan here, actually. Just put a few comments up. He's saying the Saudi League's doing this for attention to dominate news and transfer deadline day one. I bid 2 weeks ago. Liverpool can find replacement. Bluff, man. Same tactics they use with Mbappe. It's a very, very good point. All on Sky Sports News today.
The thing is, though, is that their transfer deadline is until the 20th of September. So basically, they've got another 19 days after today. 18 days after today. And they can still go and say, "Oh, we're doing this, and we're going to that, and we're going to this." Yeah. But then obviously, I know it leaves some clubs stuck with, well, hang on a minute, our transfers are finished.
Yeah, so like, it's got to change that.
Yeah. But you see, it's not just there. Like in Ireland, League of Ireland, our transfer window tends to be like December, like November, December, in terms of like getting like inner transfer windows. But then obviously you've got the summer one, which they comply with everywhere else. But at the same time, Saudi have got 18 days. 18 days to still get who they want.
Yeah.
I want to go into the same situation. Remember when the Premier League said, "Oh, the transfer window is finished as soon as the league starts"? Like, that just failed miserably because you had La Liga, the Serie A, the French league, all still going to the end of that month. So it's basically nearly the same situation.
Yeah, I think it all needs to be aligned. And if obviously the Saudi League is going to be competing to a degree as it has been now with these other top leagues in terms of transfers, then it needs to be the same time, because it does throw a massive spanner in the works. And you would say that, well, if clubs can't replace the player that's going out, then why would they do it? But then money does talk, doesn't it? So, and there'll be some teams that will be desperate for the cash that will be more exposed. So yeah. Listen, I've been firing the comments through here. So obviously I've popped loads up on the screen. So yeah. But most people are saying they couldn't care less. Salah's couldn't care less about Salah. And a lot of people are saying take the money.
That's it. Just now for the Liverpool game, we're going to get on to the predicted lineups. So I'll bring up George's. He's gone with a 4 at the back, so he's gone with Ding on the left, Cons on the right, Martinez in goals, centre half partnership of Torres and Carlos, Luiz and Kamara as per, McGinn on the left, Diaby in behind Watkins, Cash further up the pitch on the right side, and Ollie Watkins up top. What do you think of that lineup there, Kevin?
I think it's decent. Yeah, I think it's decent. I think it's yeah. Pop it back up again. I'll just go.
Here's how he's kind of shaped. So obviously, Carlos and Konza are a bit more tucked in, and Digne looks like he's a bit higher up the pitch. So that's kind of how that looks.
Yeah, I think that may well be the lineup. I don't think there's a bit of talk in the comments about Bailey, but I don't think Bailey, for me, would start an away game like this. I think you're better off with Cash, and I think the question might be, does Zaniolo get fit in somewhere, but maybe he's still getting his match fitness up. So that's probably the lineup I'd go for. To be honest, I'd probably go for the same one.
Yeah, I have my lineup here now. Admittedly, it is the same as George, however, with a different formation. I've stuck with nearly the same team as the Burnley game, the same formation. So 3 at the back, Luiz and Kamara just in front of the 3, Digne and Cash a lot higher up the pitch, McGinn and Diaby both doing the free rolls, and obviously Ollie Watkins up top. I think the three at the back system really suited as well. Now, will they bring it into Anfield? I don't know, but it might be worth the punt.
Yeah, I think. Look, I think the key thing for Villa will be how do we nullify their attack and obviously their fans at Anfield. We've got weapons. We've got weapons in our team now that can cause any team problems. But the question for me is, how do we stop Diaz, the Jotas, the Salahs, the Nunez's? How do we stop them? That's the question for me. So how we set up on those teams. I mean, I think your lineup was pretty brave in terms of the formation, but we've got to make sure we're not too attacking. But I think one thing we're good at, if we can break their press, is we can catch them on. We can catch them on the break, can't we? And that's something I think that's where I think we'll come into our own.
We are very good in that in terms of inviting pressure onto us. But at the same time, that causes a lot of heart attack. But yeah, I think you're right. So it'd be an interesting one to go with, that's for sure. And I did see we haven't beaten Liverpool in 5 Premier League games now. I think last time we beat them was the 7-2.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was. I think we've played pretty well against them, haven't we? Pretty well against them.
Against them a lot of times, and just never came up on the end of a good result. The only time I think we did was the 1-0 draw, just recently. But other than that, we lost 3-1 at home. We lost a 2-1, a 1-0, a 2-0. So we haven't exactly been like swept out the park by any means, but you know, we've done reasonably well. However, just haven't been on the ends of good results, and that's unfortunately just football.
Well, if there's ever a manager to get us a result at Anfield, it would just be such a great game to win, wouldn't it? Because obviously West Ham have gone top tonight. They've won. Luton scored a consolation in the 92nd.
That's absolutely killed it from the fancy team.
Yeah. But if Villa could have 9 points and be in probably the top 4 positions and get a scalp like Liverpool, I think it would be fantastic. I mean, a draw would be a good result. A draw would be a great result.
100%. I would 100% take a draw. But before I get on to score predictions, I am going to mention this one a little bit. I've got a cup final tomorrow for my football club, Park Villa. So basically, Villa Park backwards. It's not associated to Aston Villa at all. However, we have a Comesson Shield final against Rock Celtic in the MDL. It's a 4:30 kickoff on a Saturday. So it's win-lose. I'm on the Bills. And it's my second final as a coach, because I was part-time coaching last year with the second team and we got to the reserves final. We're in the quarterfinal of that again this year, by the way. However, cup final tomorrow against Rock Celtic, and I am absolutely buzzing for it and I can't wait. And hopefully my Villa boys can get the win. So,
mate, I wish you all the luck in the world. Hopefully it can be a fantastic weekend. My lad's got a game on Sunday. So if you get a win, if my boys' team get a win, and obviously if the Mighty Villa get a win, then I think it would be absolutely fantastic, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And we don't say up to Villa here. We say Villa Abu.
Villa Abu?
Yeah, Villa Abu. Irish for up to Villa.
Oh, brilliant. We'll have to start. You'll have to start saying that, mate.
Yeah, so basically I'll be saying that now here from now on. Villa Abu.
Villa Abu. I like that. It's good. It's good. So what do you reckon score them? What do you reckon?
Well, I'll ask you the Villa. Sorry, Aston Villa. Yeah. I think I'm going to back ourselves and say 3-1 to Villa.
3-1 to Villa?
I have a funny feeling we're going to expose them from the back. There'll be plenty of space for us to run in behind. I think Diaby will get a goal because he seems to be doing really well away from home. Watkins. And I'm going to go with Matty Cash again. I think Matty Cash is just on fire and I think he get himself another goal. So, yeah, 3-1 to Aston Villa.
3-1 to Villa. I mean, that would be an absolutely fantastic result, wouldn't it? I do remember, I don't remember in the comments, remember that famous game when we beat Liverpool? I think it was 3-1 Anfield when we were wearing the fluorescent yellow, green kit and...
Andy Wyman.
Yeah, what a game that was. Benteke just marched through the middle of their defence, like literally they're like the Red Sea party.
That was a different game, wasn't it? But I think it was the same scoreline. I think it was still 3-1 to us or something like that.
Yeah. Well, there's been a few comments earlier on of some scores. Some of the most recent ones. Dream Villain says 2-1 to Villa.
Yeah.
Adam's being realistic with a 2-1 loss. We don't want any realism here, please. Dunk says 3-1 to Villa. Dante says 2-2. A Desmond, I'd probably take that. Rach says 2-1. Ryan says also a Desmond 2-2. As does CC. CC also says all 3-1. Adamski says a 3-0 Villa win. Okay, so I'm going to go for fairly conservative 2-1 win for Villa. Okay. I can see Liverpool scoring definitely Anfield, but I think I think it's going to be a long shot. But I'm fancy Watkins to get his first goal of the season, and McGinn to do some kind of pile drive from the edge of the box. So yeah. Yeah, we haven't had a McGinn pile driver for a bit. We didn't have many. Did we have one last season? So, yeah, I think a win would be unbelievable. So, come on, the Villa boys.
I think there's no better chance than Sunday. Absolutely not. Unrealistic. Torres hat-trick.
I absolutely love that. ABFC US says 2-0 Villa. Savas says 2-1 Villa. Also got us down for 2 trophies this season. Absolutely love that. I'd love 2 trophies in the top 4 would be a fantastic performance. Yeah.
With my game, I'm going to... Sorry, Kevin, what you were talking. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, it seems like everyone's positive about what the result's going to be. So...
It's good to see, that positivity. You always get the one who likes to be realistic or the one who wants to be the conservative draw. But let's face it, we want this to win. In fact, but with my game tomorrow, I'm going to say we're going to beat Rock Celtic 2-0. So,
well,
that's my prediction.
Yeah, that would be absolutely amazing. Also, shout out to the Aston Villa women as well. They had a what was called a 6-goal thriller on the website against Villarreal in Spain on Friday night tonight.
Yeah, that's right,
went 2-0 down, got him back into the game, and then obviously went ahead. But Villarreal got an equaliser, but not all the players were there. We had definitely Dom Salah, who's made a first start for coming from the Women's World Cup. The Dutch keeper, obviously, last season's keeper Hampton's moved out now. Sarah Malin, Anna Patton, Lucy Parker, and Dan Turner make up the back 4. Alicia Lehman, who signed a new contract recently, which I think a lot of people were pleased about. Obviously, a big player for Villa, certainly on the social media side, and obviously the where the profile of the club's going to go. Players like Lehman are obviously massive for that. Rachel Corsi, standard 4 for Maz Pacheco were the next, and then it's Simone McGill and Georgia Mullet. Kenza Zyda wasn't there. I think Rachel Daly's probably getting a bit of time off as well. So I don't know how good Villarreal are in women's football, but probably maybe that was helped by the link with Unai to get that game going ahead, but a good test for them. And good to have Villa ladies back in action because when we talk about them, obviously always on this pod, because I think it's been great for Villa in recent times. The fact that the ladies obviously have been doing so well. Rachel Daly as well. We need to give her a shout out. With Rich being off, I couldn't get the Twitter account going on my phone, so I meant to tweet about this the other day. But obviously, she won the PFA Player Award, didn't she? So
yeah, I did put that up on the Hibs preview actually. So anyone who hasn't seen that, go check that out. I did mention Rachel Daly getting the PFA Player of the Year for the women's, 22 goals in 22 games, and got herself 5 assists, 27 goal contribution. That is sensational. Don't care what level you're playing at. That is a fantastic turning point forward.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And also tonight, the under-21s won 3-1 as well. So, let's not forget about him. And, Rico Richards got a goal as well. Obviously, the lad who we signed this summer, so from West Brom. So, yeah, a lot of positivity, Mark. It's been a good chat. I can't believe we've done over an hour. But everyone asking about Rich. Rich is on holiday in Mexico. He went to walk up some pyramids, and he's been to. I think he's had a couple of cocktails, so keeping up to date with him. But he'll be back soon. So he's just got to deal with me and Mark just for a few more days. If you haven't already, by the way, there's been a few pods lately, a few sort of pre-record previews. I did a talking tactics with Gareth. So if you haven't spotted that, I know Rich normally doesn't, but I did it with Gareth going through the Burnley game, and I'll be doing one for the Liverpool game as well. So keep an eye on that, because hopefully we'll be analysing a Villa Emery masterclass against Liverpool. I can't believe it's not on telly.
Yeah. Wait, which game? The Liverpool and Villa game?
Yeah, Liverpool Villa game.
Yeah, I was surprised with that. They're going with what was the other game they went with?
I don't know, something else, not Villa. I mean, top
I
four,
remember.
top four
That's a
clash.
game, so look, it is what it is. So we'll wrap it up there. That's it from us. So thank you very much for listening. We've really enjoyed the company, really enjoyed the comments, and if you're new, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you want to become a member, be a part, actually be more a part of the Villa Park Pod family, hit the join button. £2 a month, where you get your only members prizes, everything like that. So please jump on, become a part of the family, help the channel grow. We're on the road to 3,000, and we're on, I think, around 2,370 something. So we're not too far off. So we're on the road, and here, as Rich would say, we all follow the Villa. As I say, would you like to bet against us? Villa a boo.
Up